The deadline to enter the American Residential Design Awards is just a little over a week away, and if you're like me, I've waited to the last minute to put my entry together. And now that it's crunch time, I'm realizing that the photography that I took really isn't that good. It's way too late to hire a professional photographer. So I did some research and learned a couple tricks using AI, tricks that will help me put my portfolio together, improve my website, assemble my stock plan marketing materials, and as well as my ARTA entry. So I'll share my screen and we'll get started.
Pow.
Welcome to Creating Where People Live, a series where I share my journey as I grow and refine my home design craft. Join me as I experiment, learn, and discover what it means to create the places we call home. There are three challenges that I face in documenting my work and building my portfolio. Four, actually. One is taking the time and actually going out and taking photographs. The three biggest start with going out when the project's not completed yet. And this photo here kind of shows two of the three challenges. It also includes a power line that's in the way, and it could be a kid's bicycle, it could be a car. Next is the spec house that hasn't sold yet, or I get in between the sale and the homeowner moving in, and the house has no furniture, and I don't have the resources to stage it. But then the last one is just that I'm really not that good of a photographer. Fortunately for me, we live in a time where technology has really made it easier to do our jobs. At least I feel it has. So starting with Hauska.io, which is a AI platform that has been around for at least a year, but it is now a free feature in the AIBD membership portal. You go to aibd.org/login and enter into your account. And here on the right-hand side, along with all the other AIBD benefits that are available, you'll find the AI rendering and video and photo enhancement tool, Hauska. When you first enter Hauska, you'll be asked for some basic information like your name, email address, maybe a phone number. But once you establish your account, you'll be able to enter pretty much as quickly as I did. When you enter the first time, there'll be a pop-up that'll invite you to take you through a tour of Hauska. I think it's like 8, maybe 12 different slides that show you what each of the different features are, how they work. The other platform I'm going to show you today is Photoshop. Photoshop does cost money. It's 34, maybe $35 a month, but you can cancel anytime. So pay 35 bucks, edit all your photos, or you can like get all your photos together all at once and get a 7-day free trial and whack them all out. But also it's like 23 bucks, I think, a month if you go for the yearly plan. But here, so on the left-hand side, you'll see there's a ton of icons, and there's only a couple of them that I know how to use. And one is the remove tool. The remove tool will allow you to go through and highlight things like that power line, and the AI comes in and replaces it. Still using the remove tool. Let's see if we can get rid of whatever this is on the steps and highlight it. A couple leftover features. Now it's gone. Looks beautiful. And I think that's a plumbing pipe. Might be a paint can, but let's see if the plywood can be removed. You can always hit the Control Z and back up, or hit Edit and click Undo if you don't like the results. Um, it's fun to play with. It is a pain in the butt. There is a way to go ahead and increase the size of your paintbrush, but I'm kind of lazy right now. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it the size it is. And it's looking like, it's taking out the plywood and just replacing it with the dirt like it has around. One more stroke and boom. Looks great, doesn't it? Now we're going to move on to the next step. Save my photo and I bring it back into the Hauska window that I already have open, and I tell it that I want it to be an exterior rendering. I'm changing the original parameters. I want it to be precise. I don't want the AI to be creative. And now I write my prompt. And here I just simply say that I want to recreate the photograph or recreate the image, making it brighter and cleaner and uh, adding grass and a sidewalk to the front of the house. Learning how to write your prompts is something that takes experimentation. Fortunately, you are able to generate as many images as you want with Hauska, at least for now. So let's see what I've created. And by the way, it takes a lot longer than this. I've edited the video. Um, the cool thing about it is you get a side by side, so you can kind of swipe back and forth. You can see that, there's some things that aren't quite right. It didn't quite carry over all the colors. There's the button to see the after only. And so let's see if there's a way that we can go in and add the white back to the fascia board and the beam and clean up the colors. So I'm going to go back to the existing prompt and just edit it to add text that instructs the AI to brighten the white trim. And then we will try again. If I could get my fingers to work here. There we go. And again, it doesn't happen as fast. It's a good chance to take a cup of coffee or to sip of your cup of coffee. Um, there you go. Now we've got white trim, and it's more closely an image that reflects the existing house, but it's added grass and a sidewalk across the front. But now we've kind of, what we're missing is a walkway connecting the steps to the sidewalk or all the way out to the road. So there's another feature in Hauska that they've added down here in the right-hand corner, and it's your generative chat AI type of feature. Just click on the big round blue Hauska logo, and they use Perplexity as the. What I asked Perplexity was, how can I add a walkway in Photoshop to an existing image? And here's the answer. It's quite extensive. I So it gives you step-by-step answers. And my experience, like I said before, is not that great with Photoshop. I only know how to use a few tools. And one of the things that I struggle with in written instructions on how to use Photoshop is I don't know what icons go to what. So fortunately, when Perplexity gives you an answer, it actually leads you to where on the internet that it got that particular answer. And in this case, it's a video on YouTube that somebody prepared where they take an illustration of a rendering and they want to add a stone pathway up to the house. And so here's the rendering, and they take you through step by step. Now I didn't include the audio, but I will include in the notes below the link to this video so that you can go back in and see. But basically, they're just going to go in there and mask out a stone drive or walkway that they found in another image, and using the looping tool, they're going to like create a boundary, and that will cause it's kind of like cropping the image, but cropping it in a way that the AI identifies the individual item within the image that you're trying to take out. And it'll make that a separate layer in Photoshop so that you can kind of like lay one image on top of the other. So right now, the instructor is tracing out the driveway, and when they finally get to the very end, you'll see how it creates the layer that they're looking for. And you do have to be somewhat precise when you're telling AI what you want to take out of the image. But you can see there at the end, they just kind of drew one long straight line, and the technology understood what they were looking for. So now we're adding that walkway to the original image of the house rendering and positioning that layer and stretching it out, and bam, there you go. You got a stone walkway right up to the house. And in this case here, you can kind of tell that it was generated. And I didn't take the time because it took me a long time to learn how to do that in Photoshop. But here's what the result was of my labors. Of course, the first time you do anything, it takes a lot longer than the next time you do it. And it's not perfect, but you know, to use this rendering for an entry into Arta, or to use it to market a stock plan, or to just throw it into my portfolio. I mean, you and I know that we were messing with the sidewalk and the grass and the walkway, but for most people, they're going to be focused on the house. And a photograph of the house that is not much different than our original. It's much cleaner. We still have basically the same background, and I've added some landscaping and a walkway to the front. Now here's an image that you can see is scanned. It's not even a good scan because the cropping on the left-hand side can see where it goes beyond the photograph. But I put this in Hauska, and the same exact prompt was recreate this image, make it clearer and brighter and sharper, and make it look like it's a professional photograph. And here's the result. It's not perfect again. There's some gravel that was added to the front yard that doesn't really exist. But as far as the house is concerned, the shingles are a little rough, but I don't know. That just kind of adds character, maybe. And if I had my way, I would really have rough shingles if I could design them. They just might be too expensive or don't exist. But at any rate, this is what I'm going to be submitting as the rendering or the photo for that builder's model, and also for my stock plan sales offerings. Here's another example of that same house on the courtyard side where, my photography was taken at night and it was blurry and, just not that professional level that I'm looking for. But by loading it into Hauska and using a prompt that says to create a new version of the image that's clearer and more professional, seems to work out just fine. And here's a kitchen of that house where not only is it not staged, but the photography is not that great. Now here they added a window, or AI added a window and extended the cabinet. But I don't have a problem with that. I actually went back and edited the plans to include more cabinets and a window in that location. Now everything's accurate. And here's a SketchUp model of a new house, that builder's model. And I asked Hauska to create a rendering for me that's in watercolor, and another of that same model asking for photorealistic rendering. And then here I ask Hauska to take an existing image and just basically make it to where it's a nighttime shot. And so lastly, let's go back to the staging opportunity that Hauska gives us. And here's a kitchen that has, nobody's moved in yet. And I'm going to ask the AI to regenerate the same image, making it brighter and clearer, just like I've said on all the others, and um, make it look like a professional photograph. But now I'm going to get into a little bit more detail with the drop-down menus. For example, one of the options is that you can choose what For example, you can choose virtual staging as one of the options instead of just interior design. And then down at the bottom, once you've clicked that, you have more options and you can choose which room it is and which style you want. And I don't know, looking at the cabinets, I thought about traditional, but it's probably more modern. So now let's take a look at what we get. All right, so far the side by side's looking pretty good. Um, if I expand it by using the after only and then comparing them this way with the tabs. So now I can see that the bar was originally a 42-inch high bar with a counter behind it, and possibly AI felt like 36-inch high islands are the trend now, and that's what it created. And again, this is a situation where I kind of like what it came up with, and I'll go back and alter the plans to match the rendering. Everything else seems to look pretty good. So there you have it. Hopefully, this will help. I know it's certainly going to help me putting my portfolio together, as well as creating stock plans to offer for sale. Whether or not it helps with ARTA may not have anything to do with the software. It might have to do with the design more. So we'll see. But hopefully, with a little bit better photography, I can get the attention and at least have the consideration of the judges. Which reminds me that somewhere in my end, I will probably disclose those renderings that were 100% generated by AI and the photographs that were enhanced using AI. I know Photoshop's been used for years to enhance photography. I've seen it from not only in ARTA, but other competitions that I've judged. You could tell the grass was a little greener than you think it might was or whatever. But um, so that kind of enhancement, and nobody's disclosed it, but I feel like it should be our responsibility to let the judges know that this photograph was taken by me or the name of the photographer, but then I've enhanced it and explained the way that I have enhanced it. But at this point, please take a bit of time and put it in your schedule. Schedule 2 or 3 hours because it could turn out to be a rabbit hole. But go into your AIBD member account, click the Hauska link, upload some sketches, upload some renderings, upload some photography, play with it. Use the creativity button. Sometimes the AI, as I've shown, will come up with a solution that you might not have thought of or didn't realize how well it looked. But the bottom line is that to me, it's good enough to at least show a consumer the idea, possibly even the massing, and again, use it for inspiration. So with that, go forward, design boldly, and let's keep creating where people live.
Pow.